I'll just wait 1 more minute till it's 3, and then I will start the live stream. I just turned it on to see if everything is working. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I think it's working, but I have no experience, so please let me know if there's any issues. But it seems to go well. Take another sip of water. Is it 3 o'clock? Almost. Okay. Welcome to my first live stream today. As you can see, it's all through the webcam. You probably see it's not the best quality, but I think it's working. I'm streaming. I'm just gonna check one more time. Let me know in the chat if you have any issues, but it looks all fine. So today I wanted to basically go through 2020 one more last time. I know it was not the best year, but I did a lot of creative things. I made a lot of outfits, and I just wanted to give a little review today, just tell you guys the good, the bad, and all the tea about the things that I did. Maybe give some behind-the-scenes information. So it's not a static presentation or anything of that kind. So please ask questions in the chat or give comments. Even if you think something is ugly, please tell me, because in the end, I'm making most of the things for the audience that is you. So I'm definitely curious to your honest opinion as well, and I'm gonna give my honest opinion too. And if you have any questions that have nothing to do with the outfits, it's also fine. I will answer everything as long as it's an appropriate question, of course. So am I supposed to see who's in the chat? I don't know. I'm not practiced with the chat, so I see some people are watching. I don't know who, but welcome all. I'm really glad that you're here, and let's just start quickly because there's quite a lot of outfits. I hope I can do them all today. And yeah, let me know what you think in the chat. Is it turned on? Welcome in the live. I think it's turned on. I think I can even chat as well. Hello. Okay. Seems to work. So to get the elephant out of the room, I thought I would start with what I'm wearing now. And that's the Cutout Alexander McQueen blazer. It's very dark. I hope you can see it well. It was definitely not one of my first videos. I will do the other ones more chronological, but I thought I'll just start with what I'm wearing now. So that's the Cutout blazer, because I'm wearing black under it. It's a little hard to see on the screen. Turn the lights a little bit up, but it's basically cut out to the front and all the way along the shoulders. I'm just gonna take it off for a minute so that you can actually see better what I'm talking about. I didn't realize it would be so blackish. So yeah, that's the cutout. It's big, and to be honest, guys, I do like the result. I think it's so fancy. I mean, it's not my idea. It's Alexander McQueen's idea. It's not like terribly innovative, but it's just such a nice look. I wore it on New Year's evening, or like, how do you say, New Year's Eve, yeah. And I wore it with a Christmas dinner, and it's just super fancy in a way. This is definitely one of those looks that are much more difficult than you initially expect. It looks like such a simple kind of idea to just take an existing blazer and do this cutout, but I think I just really didn't think ahead of what steps were basically needed to do this cutout. I had to make all the facings, and it's a little bit hard to make a pattern of something if it's already a garment. So it was kind of hard to let the facings all fit. I had to take in like shoulder width because it was standing off a lot, and all in all, it was just kind of difficult. I think, today I'm just going to be honest. So I can tell you I'm not the perfect sewer or anything. I like to sew, but this was definitely, I underestimated it, and it just didn't turn out perfect. So if you would make any thing like this, I have some tip to also, because I think the original blazer had the cutout ending where a button is. And I didn't do that because my buttons were kind of different places. So it would be too high or too low. But if you can do that, just make an extra button here, but it's kind of opening a little somehow, because I think this is pulling down. So I would definitely try to get a button there, or just sew an invisible kind of hook in there or something, just to make it a little better, like closing. Hello, Christina, one of your favorites. That's great. I mean, yeah, I think if it would be perfectly sewn, this would be one of my favorites too, but it's not. And also, it's not my own idea. I like to have my favorites, my own designs, of course. But please let me know in the chat if you like the kind of copy kind of videos where I rip off designers, because I see it happening quite a lot on YouTube. And I didn't do so many of that this year. But if you enjoy that, let me know. I would love to hear, because then I will definitely do that more this year. So I'm just gonna take the blazer off now. I would say if you're a beginner sewer, I would definitely take a wool blazer, preferably a flannel, because you can really iron the seams nice. And if there's any imperfections, you see it less if it's a flannel, because it's so kind of bendable, or how do you say that? It's kind of, with steam you can really steam it really nice. And with this, it's also a wool, but it's a little bit harder to steam because it's just, I don't know, maybe it's a wool mix, can't remember. But yeah, it's a little bit more that you see the tiny imperfections. Why did you start upcycling, Johnny Walker asks. I think the first time was in my bachelor course in the Fashion Academy in the University of the Arts. We had one task where we would basically work together with a retailer, a Dutch retailer of clothes, and they also collected their old vintage clothes, so customers could bring their old vintage clothes back and get a discount or something like that. And we had the kind of opportunity to work with their discarded clothes or their vintage pieces and make an outfit. And for me, I think that time it was really not my own idea to start with it, but it was actually a great success. It was a little competition that I was one of the winners of, and I just really enjoyed the process of using existing stuff and, I don't know, work with some kind of more limited opportunities. There's more limitations if you work with existing stuff. which is kind of also exciting because you have to really use a lot of creativity to make things work. Show that we're inclusive as possible. Yes, that's definitely cool. Christina, she says it's cool to work with copying high-end designers to basically show that you don't have to spend a lot of money on designers' clothes. Which, I mean, I was a little bit of a victim of that when back in the day. Buying expensive stuff, it's really nice sometimes, but as I'm upcycling more and more, I realize how sometimes relatively easy it is to really upcycle something or make it yourself. Let's be honest, if you have experience in sewing and with the internet as a great source of information, it gets more accessible to do things yourself. And if you don't have always the inspiration yourself, why not just steal it? I mean, even designers are stealing from each other. So why can not other people just steal from the designers, basically? So I'm going on to the corset, which I'm wearing here. And this is a really nice outfit. This was one of the ones that I was really kind of scared to start with. A friend of mine wanted to basically have a video about a corset, and I knew I had to do it because I saw it was a huge thing last year on Instagram. Everyone was making the corsets, especially even the upcycled ones. So making corsets from old shirts or old sportswear. So I was like kind of procrastinating with this and didn't want to do it because I thought it would be more difficult than it was. This one was the other opposite of the McQueen blazer. This one was just kind of easier, I think. And with the adjustable, like there's rings in the back and a shoelace actually. So it's super adjustable. It does not have to be perfectly body fitting because even if you get a little bit fatter or something, you can just adjust the shoelaces. So actually, I do really like the corset. It's almost like a kind of corset belt. I might want to do more variations of it if you guys are not tired of it yet. Or how can one buy your designs and how can we call these upcycles? So Johnny Walker asks where we can buy the designs. Definitely this year I want to try to open a little shop, or at least maybe sell on Depop or some fashion platform, just to get a little bit of selling going on. But obviously I don't do productions yet, and I don't know if that's gonna really happen this year already. It depends a little bit on money, I guess. But for now, it's not for sale yet. But I definitely want to sell the more accessible pieces on Depop later. Even maybe things I make in videos, just to get the business going a little bit. I'm just gonna take this corset off so we can go to the next one. Also, the inside of this corset, I will show you quickly. It somehow turned out really nice. It's not always the case with my things, but that's also a cycling short on the inside. So I think with the yellow bias tape and the yellow kind of graphic inside, it just such a finished piece. This could be for sale for sure, and it's almost perfect, although I say it myself. So I really like the corset thing. It's a little bit of work, but once you have the pattern, you can make all kinds of variations, I guess. So yeah, I would recommend doing that one if you have some sewing experience for sure. Then I'm wearing another copied look. This is this Pom Bag's off-white shirt. It's called the cheesehole top. At first I thought it was a joke that they call it the cheesehole thing, but it's not. I think it's actually called in online shops the cheesehole thing. and you would pay around, I don't know, $300-400 for a t-shirt like this. And it's relatively easy to make. Yeah, it just has this hole with elastic sewn in here. I just used a zigzag stitch, I believe. I stitched over it 2 times. You can see that in the video. It was quite easy, and you cannot see it in the dark, but it has some nice pleats basically, or like nice traction. And here is this iron ring that is in there. I must say sometimes it is moving a little bit because I didn't fixate it. It's iron, so I just made basically kind of like a tunnel with bias tape and put this iron ring in there. Can put the light a little bit down again. It's a bit oversaturated, but yeah, I think this is fun. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt with the elastic. It has to be very elastic to basically show this nice traction. And the ring, it's moving maybe a little bit sometimes, but if you just, you know, pull this down and wear it, it's not moving at all. It's more like if you take it off, I guess. And it's very wearable. I've worn it in the summer quite a lot of times, so definitely not, I don't know, definitely a good thing. Okay, there's already 16 minutes in. I think I have to go a little bit quicker because it's going to take forever. I'm your biggest fan. Thank you, Viconic. Could you also consider selling your patterns? So that's an interesting question. Someone asks if I would sell my patterns. I've been thinking about it. The thing is, oftentimes I'm not making much patterns because it's all upcycling. So yeah, for the corset, for example, I had a pattern, and I would sell it, I guess. If the pattern is good enough, I would have to double check. But that's almost the only thing that I really made a real pattern of. All the other things are, or I just make a little piece of pattern for the facing, but it's never like a complete pattern because the clothing already exists. So going on quickly, because otherwise it's going to take forever. This was my first video back in the day, half a year ago. I can proudly say that I never wore this. I don't know if I really expected to wear it, but this is basically the robe blazer. How did I call it? I think I called it the poppy flower blazer because this is quite ordinary, you know, robe that you can buy in every shop basically. And I flattened the ends. I unraveled it a little bit and needle felted them on the jacket so that it would be a little more fixated. I think in theory you could also just use a little bit of fabric glue or something. You don't have to needle felt it, but I just had these needle felting tools new, so I wanted to try it out. So that was my first time needle felting, and the ropes are just embroidered on there. I think this is definitely a bit more of an experimental kind of fashion week look, a little bit graduation collection. Also, I think it's just not something, I mean, it was in the back of my closet and I didn't really look at it anymore. I think it's just not something you actually wear in your daily life unless you want to, you know, be a flower or, I don't know, attract some attention. But it's cool. I guess it's cool. It's pretty. I would say, you know, it could hang in a museum, I said back then, I think, and I still think about it that way. It's kind of artistic, but yeah. More for a photo shoot kind of thing, I would say, not for an everyday kind of situation at all, but it's quite nicely made. There's, I think it would be quite durable. maybe you could consider doing rope embroidery on a little more heavy fabric, because I had to reinforce it. It's maybe the fabric is a little bit on the thin side for such a heavy embroidery. It's not really a problem because I reinforced it, but it was a little bit of a pain in the ass to do that. Marjolein says it's reversible. I don't know what she means. Did I have anything reversible? Can't remember. Isabel asked if I will make dresses or clothes for women. So definitely we'll do that this year. It's on my to-do list. Let me know what you guys want to see, because I would love to get some inspiration from you guys as well. So let me know if you have any ideas what I can do. That's another copycat. I guess, yeah, I'm doing all the copycats first. That's the Ascot bag from the luxury fashion label The Row. I think it's sold for about $2,000 or something. Estimation, I'm not sure. And this is absolutely a cute bag. I have used it in the summer. I think it's, it's a handbag, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's so abstract that I would feel comfortable wearing it on many occasions. It's not too gender specific in a way or too extra. So I don't know. I just really like the bag. I think it's relatively easy to make, because if you have any small imperfections, I just think you won't see it. I mean, come on, you're gonna knot things and knot things here, so you don't really see the corners, you don't see the edges that well. So it does not have to be that perfect, in my opinion, at least. Relatively beginner friendly, like if you can sew. So yeah, that's just, if I remember well, it's literally just a square of fabric that I took out of a jacket, and the lining of the jacket is also in there. This was the front of the jacket with the button and the buttonhole that was already in there, so it was also easy. I must admit I never made buttonholes, so I was happy I could use the one that's already in the jacket. And the back is just cute, but big butt actually. I think for especially people living in the city, it's just not safe. And I think this is, if I have done it well, this is almost exactly as how The Row sells them as well. There's no like inner bag or anything that they sell with it, as far as I have seen online. And this is just for pickpockets a heavenly bag, of course, because you can just go in with your hand and take everything out. So actually, when I use it, I put another bag inside usually, which has my wallet and everything in there. I wouldn't put like things loose in there, because it's like an open thing. So yeah, beware of that. Wear it to a gallery opening. Yeah, that's also a good idea, Marjolein. I think she's talking about the blazer. So going on to the Shibori pants, and people who have been more on my channel must have definitely seen me wear this. It's not always easy to see because I usually film a lot from only up there, but I've worn this a lot this half year, the last, especially in the summer months. It's a little bit of a summery color, but I think if you can see it well, it has this structure. I think it's still pretty well in there. I washed it the bare minimum, guys. This is made with basically twisting screws in the fabric. It's a polyester fabric. It only works on polyester. And it's then heated in a vegetable steamer so that the shapes basically the textures will stay in there, and you can see it's still in there after washing, but I washed it very carefully on the hands. So I just soaked it in some soapy water for a bit, few hours, get it out, and I don't dare to kind of do this, you know, I don't dare to twist the fabric too much because I'm scared it's gonna mess with my beautiful texture. And this takes definitely, I don't know, I mean, with filming, everything takes longer, but I think in general, it takes about at least 2 days to make. So it's quite a lot of work, like 2 full days, not 9 to 5 days. I think even a little bit longer than 9 to 5 days. So it's a bit of a monk task, if I say that well. But I think it's very worth it, especially in a pants. I think this is definitely this kind of unique kind of concept or unique texture. You don't see it much, but it's still very wearable. And that's what I usually love, just to have this kind of little bit eye-catching stuff without it being so eye-catching that you just don't want to wear it too much because you feel like you attract too much attention maybe. But this is one you can wear to a party, to the grocery shopping, you can wear it everywhere. It's lovely. Only pain in the ass is the washing, I would say. This is actually one of my good performing videos, so I think people enjoy this as well, this kind of fabric manipulation. But the washing is a little bit of a, you know, bummer. I think maybe if you have a very gentle washing machine, you can try it. I just don't want to risk it because, you know, better safe than sorry. Fien says she would love to she loves this corset to be for sale and things to be for sale in general. So yeah, I should definitely do that. Definitely also get more business going on this year. So I'm also looking forward to sell a little bit of my stuff. Christina asked if I'm not drinking tea, I guess. The only tea you get here is the truth today. I have a little bit of water with my glass straws as my environmental friendly option. The average time you spend on a project or design, my line asks. Well, it really depends, I guess. So some things are relatively quick, like this next one, for example, it was not that much work at all, to be honest. But I think, especially fabric manipulation, is quite easy to underestimate because you think, like, I will, you know, take a few hours to get everything in, and it easily takes 2-3 days. But I must say, it's also because I'm recording everything now for the YouTube, that things just take longer. You know, I have to constantly focus the camera and kind of, I don't know, make things a little bit nice, be very clean and everything, to have it a little bit on screen looking all nice. So that definitely takes much more time. I think if you do things by yourself in your room without having to record it, it would be much, much quicker. Happy New Year! Oh, Paola! I think that's Paola from Berlin, and I wish her a Happy New Year. I wish everyone, did I say this already? Happy New Year, everyone. I don't know if I already said that. Isabel asked if I'm on Patreon. No. Good question. I will consider that as well, to get kind of like a membership thing going on, maybe some exclusive videos, but I have to really consider that still. So this was the Ausbrenner pants, and I really like this. This was the acid basically that burns away the cotton fibers and then leaves in the other fibers, so the synthetic fibers. So you would want to do this usually on a material mix. This one is 85% cotton and 15% polyamide. So that means that the polyamide is still staying in the pants and the cotton is burning away. So it's basically applying acid, ironing it until it gets dark brown, and then you can wash away. The cotton fibers get kind of hard and fragile, and you can just rinse it away. And it's a lot of fun to do. Like, honestly, guys, I've done this a lot in my life already. It's also sometimes a little frustrating because it definitely does not work on all fabrics. It can have a little bit of a disappointing result sometimes. I think with this, I was just too harsh with the iron. That's why I burned some holes. And sad thing is, I think, yeah, that was something I could have avoided if I just would have been a little more careful. But I was, going full heat on it because it basically goes quicker. Otherwise, it takes forever, and you need to really warm it up quite well. But because this is also partly synthetic, it's of course not really suitable for the highest setting on your iron. So I would definitely take that into account. And I don't know, what do you guys think of this technique? Let me know. I think it's stunning, it's beautiful. I've not worn it a lot, to be honest. I thought in the shop, this is a great pants to do this technique on because of the material mix. And I also like this. It's a little bit of a gray, kind of bluish fabric that has already a little bit of lines in it, like a little bit of texture. So it's a nice pants, I must say, but I'm pretty sure it's a woman's pants. It's just really tight in the crotch. It's not comfortable for me to wear. I can wear it, but it's a little bit of a camel toe situation. So that's why this one is kind of hanging in the closet. But if I'm completely honest, I don't think this is something you would really want to wear too much because it's quite fragile. You burn away like a big part of the fabric, so it gets definitely a little bit fragile. Going quickly on to definitely one of my favorites, the fringed cowboy jacket. So this is just basically denim fringes. If you didn't see the video, here I just bleached with ordinary bleach. Basically because the denim fringes had a different color than the jacket, because this is made from jeans and the jacket was already just a normal denim jacket, but this was much darker. So I wanted to lighten that a bit, and it really quickly got super light. I didn't know denim would bleach that quick. But it's quite fulfilling to do, to be honest. And I had a lot of people saying, not so many people say, like, I'm gonna make your design, but a lot of people say, oh, I'm gonna also bleach something, because they saw how easy that basically is, and yeah, how fulfilling the result can be. So I left the fringes on the sleeve very long. Don't know, sometimes I feel like that is a bit strange, because on the back they're really short, but on the other hand, it also makes it a little more, I don't know, design, I guess, a little more special. But I'm definitely not tired of fringes yet, and it's definitely surprising how well they stayed, I guess. They look a little bit rougher than in the beginning. Let's examine it a little bit, but these fringes are made with fusible adhesive, so I expected it to maybe loosen a little, and that would be a shame because it would be a pain to put fusible adhesive back in it again. But this all holds surprisingly well. Honestly, I don't know how it holds that well. I've worn this a lot. It's just a wearable thing, but definitely an eye catcher, in my opinion. To do and or do so. My own favorite project. Nada asks. I have to think about that one. I mean, maybe I'm just going to one of my favorite other ones now. How long are we in? 35 minutes. So I just want to go a little quicker. This is actually, I guess, one of my favorites as well. It's another Shibori project. I call this the popcorn shirt because it looks like these 90s popcorn shirts. And I just love it. Therefore, this was, I mean, was it fun to do? Not really that much fun because it's definitely those things. It's basically buttons, but wrapping buttons in the shirt. And I used all kinds of bigger and smaller ones. I guess if you use bigger ones only, you will be much more quickly finished. But this definitely took some time. On the other hand, it's kind of foolproof, I think. It's kind of relatively easy to do. And I love the result. I feel like, I don't know, a little bit of a SpongeBob creature. It has this kind of strange texture that you just don't see every day. On the other hand, it looks a little bit like the popcorn shirts, but you also don't see them every day. And yeah, it's just kind of fun to do. It cannot really go wrong. I think the only thing you have to take into account is to use 100% polyester, because that is the way that it melts in there. If you use material mixes, I don't think it works well. If you use natural fibers, I don't think it will work well. So, but except for that, I think it's doable. You just need a vegetable steamer. You can also boil it in a pan, I think. I never did that, but it's a possibility. And this is also just wearable. Only the washing is a pain in the ass again, because you know, I just let it leak out above a bucket basically, and it takes 2 days to dry because I don't want to wrap it or put it in the dryer. I don't want to use heat. I don't want to use pressure because it may erase all the texture basically. Oh my, yeah, my line said the corset was reversible. That's definitely almost reversible, I guess. I mean, you can make it easily reversible. I will show one more time. Or I don't show, it takes too much time, but I don't know where it is now. But the corset, yeah, you can make it reversible. I think it's quite easy. If you don't mind to have the bias tape on the outside, and I thought it looked actually really good, I just used pretty white bias tape. That's my top tip for sewers who don't like bias tape, like basically myself, because I always find it a little bit hard to catch it on all sides, basically, and sew over it nicely. But with the wider one, it's a bit easier. So especially on the edges. And yeah, just make sure to use a wide enough bias tape, because I thought I bought 2 big ones, but actually it turned out to be perfect because it was easier to sew and I could cover all the seam allowances really easily. So popcorn shirt, definitely one of my favorites. I don't know, it can be this kind of differently styled thing. It's a bit versatile. It can be kind of more high fashion. It can be more 90s trash. I mean, I never wore it with this shiny PVC pants, but now that I'm wearing it with it, I feel like a kind of 90s supermodel. I kind of like it. And because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of shorter in the back. I don't know why, but there's more like, probably I had some more buttons there or something, or I wrapped them tighter, or it's just because here I didn't do at the buttons, but I also like this kind of length difference. It makes it look kind of designy and cool. I love that one. Let me know, what do you guys like? Which outfits do you think are cool? And also, which one would you want to see in 2021? I'd love to hear. And give this video a thumbs up, by the way, if you enjoy it. I guess this is one of my least favorite ones. I don't know. I've worn this. It's the Victorian sleeve. So I got out the sleeves, I just added some panels of another shirt that I cut out of another shirt so that the sleeves would get basically wider, and the idea was to make them look a little bit Victorian. I don't think it looks Victorian at all. After all, it looks more like a pirate shirt or something. I will show you. I think because of the prints also. This is just not really a print that I associate with myself, which is also the reason why I think it's kind of fun, because it's a bit unexpected for me and maybe a little bit more of my new 2021 kind of vibe style. But I think the prints are just, I have to get used to it a little bit, I guess. It's just maybe a little too office for me. But today, when I saw this shirt again, I didn't wear it for a while. I wore it a couple of times, also for videos, especially in the beginning when I didn't make that much. Today, I thought maybe this would also be nice to make it really quite a bit more Victorian, to add boning in here, because you also see a lot of people adding boning in shirts. I don't know exactly how, but I mean, I think they just make an extra seam here and add boning in there, or they just, I don't know. But that would be kind of, then you have the wannabe Victorian sleeves, and you have the corset kind of boning here. And then it will puff up here above the breast a little bit. And I think that can look kind of nice and 80s kind of cool. I don't know. Do you guys think I should try that? Should I make a video about that? Let me know. Okay, Marjolein, it's about the fringes. She says, I like them longer on the sleeves. Marjolein said, I had to think, what does she mean? But that's about the fringes. Yeah, I think I like it too. I don't know. It makes it a little more special, right? A little more eye-catching than just a average cowboy jacket. Then I have this needle felt pants where I basically took some sleeves of the, or it's not sleeves, these were parts of a jumper. I have the jumper here as well. It looks like a crop jumper now, but I basically took the front and the back of this jumper off, and I made bottom legs of it from this pants. So it's looking like this. And yeah, I think this one was really a good one, to be honest. I think people liked it. I liked it. It's an original ID. You don't see it much. So I kind of attached them on top of the existing trousers so that I could also I think it's sewn here in the inside. You definitely have to attach it a little bit better to the pants than only the needle felting. Here I felted it in with needles, so I punched them through. But I think it's better to just attach it here in the side seam as well, like I did, so that it will be a bit more durable. I've worn this quite a lot also on videos, but usually because all the excitement is happening around the calves, you wouldn't really see it when I would wear it, and it would look more like this, like a normal trousers. But I think this is fun to wear. You can see now, after quite so many times wearing, that it's getting a little loose, like this one here. Look, two next to each other, they are loose. It's looking a little rough, but here it's still attached pretty well. And this is not wool, this is polyester, so it does also work quite well on polyester. But it does get a little bit loose. Take that into account. I think after I don't know, maybe 20 times of wearing, you would have to, I'll show you the inside so you can see what happened with the needle felting. All the fibers come out in the other side. It looks a little bit disgusting, like mold on the other side as well, but you don't feel any of this. It's just polyester fibers. It's soft, so when you wear it, you don't really mind it. It just doesn't look that aesthetically pleasing. But you can make a, I don't know, you could have, for example, not punched it through the lining like I did, but I was a little lazy. And this is just cool because this is kind of office kind of situation in the top, and then this kind of cool casual thing in the bottom. I think kind of foolproof, kind of original. Just take into account that you might have to do a touch-up. Like, it's going to be quite easy because I can just put my needle felt mat in there and just punch the things back in there, and I think I can just reattach them. But yeah, that's what you have to do after a while. But definitely a high fashion statement piece. I'm a little bit proud of it, I think. And I have worn it, so that's a good sign. Some things are very wearable, others less, I guess. I'm going to sell these upcycles. How can you buy it in the right size? Are you producing it then in the right size or making one size fits all? That's a good question. That's one of those things that that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to basically sell things, because I usually make things in my own size or just in one size. But if I would make things, it's always kind of dependent on, I guess, the clothes that I find in the vintage shop. But I wouldn't just make different things in different sizes. Like, for example, I think the Cowboy Jacket, it would be easy to make in different sizes, and it would be easy to kind of fit. People can just say, it can be a little bit more baggy, it can be a little bit more tight, but it's definitely something that can be for different sizes if you just make it in different sizes. But yeah, definitely a good point, and also want to be a little bit more inclusive as well, not make only for people that have my waist size. So I will have to consider that. Then, okay, I will get this one out as well, the Pom Pom Bag. Let me know what you guys think of the Pom Pom Bag. I love how it looks, to be honest. It just old denim. This is old jeans, basically, that I made pom-poms of with this little pom-pom maker. So it's basically just wrapping straps of denim around the pom-pom maker, cutting it in the middle, and then you have all these kind of little straps. And then you have these round pom-poms, and I wanted to embroider them on there, but I started to realize it's really annoying this was basically an existing handbag with a silver kind of chain handle. And I wanted to embroider them on there, but to go in with your hand in this small thing, and it's fake leather, and getting this needle through, I underestimated that. And after 2 pom-poms, I realized I'm not going to do it because it's going to take literally 2 days at least to do that. So I took the glue gun. I never used a glue gun, to be honest, before. So in that sense, I'm not too sure how well this is holding because I'm not using it too much. Problem with this one, main problem, it is shedding like hell. It's just, I will show you, I don't know. Can you imagine you're wearing this? I don't know if you can see it, but there's all kinds of little things coming out, little threads, and that makes it a little bit, too crafty. I think it's not that fashionable. So that's the only thing I don't like about this bag. But in general, I do like the concept, and I think if I would make the pom-poms but cut them perfectly on the bias like I did with this fringes from the Cowboy shirt, then I would definitely be able to make it less fraying. Maybe you could even put the pom-poms in the washing machine to get some of the threads out after you cut it perfectly on the bias, so not vertical or not horizontal, but like perfectly diagonal, then it does fray much less. If you then throw it in the washing machine and then make the pom-poms, or make the pom-poms and throw them in the washing machine, I think it's definitely more of a wearable item, but it will take more time also to cut shorter strips, basically. I don't know. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected. How long are we already talking? 50 minutes. I'm just going on because there's still some people present. But let me see if there's any other questions. No. Love it, like it, thank you. This and another. This is the flame blazer. I must say I didn't wear this much. I was not really sure why I picked flames, but for me it feels a little bit 2017, this kind of flame trend. But yeah, I think I just wanted to try this kind of technique. So the edges are needle felted. If you look up close, you can see it a bit better. So it's basically knitwear that I glued on there with some fusible adhesive, and then I needle felted the edges to make it a little more integrated together. I'm not 100% sure if this is something that lasts very well if you wear it a lot, because I didn't wear it a lot. I cannot tell, but I suspect this is not something that ages too well. It's a little bit glued together with fusible adhesive. Maybe if you would stitch around it with some red stitching, it can also look nice, and you can basically fixate everything a little bit better. I don't know. But that's something to consider, I think, if you make this one, because I made this star pants last week. After I did this flame thing a few months ago, I made the star pants as well. And the stars are just not holding at all on the pants. And it's basically the same technique, but different fabrics. It's just ironed on there with fusible adhesive. And I don't know, everything looks kind of rough, and the stars didn't stick that well. I must say I put it in the bleach as well. I kind of spontaneously decided to do that. Maybe not such a smart idea, but I would definitely, this technique of using fusible adhesive and then gluing it on, sticking it on there with the iron, then needle felting the edges, would definitely do a garment that you do not want to wash, more like a blazer, because washing, it just doesn't make it look much nicer, and it just ended up not holding too well, to be honest. Again, so here I stitched a few times over it. If you do that in a really nice way, it takes a lot more time as well if you want to do that on a whole pan. So I just zigzagged a few times over it. But if you would, for example, zigzag over all the needle felted edges, just go every star around, I think then, you would fixate edges much better. I think it would also look really cute. But in a way, it's just time consuming. And this Christmas pants, it had to be finished before Christmas. I had a terrible planning there. When I'm completely honest. And this, I guess, it's just not really my style, and it's looking a little bit rough. I think a friend of mine suggested to do this on a coat. I guess if you have like a long kind of beautiful wool coat and you would just do it on the bottom of the coat here, I think that's a little more logical than doing it on the sleeves like me. this makes me just, I don't know, look a little bit Terminator or something. I'm not sure, but not really my style. Someone said it's a little bit of a 70s rocker thing. And I agree, it's a little bit like that, but I'm not a 70s rocker, although I sometimes look a bit like it. So I think it's kind of cute. Idea is nice. Don't know if it's durable because I didn't wear it that much, but I don't expect too much of it. I don't expect this to age that well. It's more of a, I don't know, how do you say, just a fun thing to do. And it's eye-catching for sure. But I don't know. I'm a little bit over it now, I guess, because of the star pants. I'm a little bit like disappointed, I would say. My son says, "Oh no, it's on fire." That says nada. Her son says it's on fire. That's really cute because I know her son and he's really cute. So hello, Sammy, as well. The cropped blazer. I think it's cool, but look at the sleeve length. I cannot even see the tips of my fingers anymore. This is more of an editorial piece, and to be honest, I was not planning to use this jacket because it was so huge, but it was still left from the ascot bag. It was still, you know, this was the bottom of the jacket, this cute bag, and didn't know what to do with this. Then a friend of mine said, "Oh, I love this silhouette," and I was like, "Yeah, I might as well use it." And everyone was making cropped blazers in 2020, so I felt like I also had to make one. But then it turned out, I don't know. I think mine is a little more edgy than most of the crop blazers because I did this waistband. I bought an eyelet machine. Or basically you call it a grommet press, I think, to make eyelets, because I feel like, you know, with eyelets you can so nicely and easily upcycle things. So that's basically why I invested in this press. It was not that expensive, and this was the first thing I used it on, I believe. So it's a waistband with another kind of cord, short, how do you say that? Another kind of drawstring to it, so you can make it a little bit tighter, because this is so extremely oversized. It's really 80s. I had to do this contrasting panel because I used it for the back. It's the handles of the back. But it looks kind of cool. This is also a corduroy, so it fits well together. And you can kind of play a little bit around with the waistband, play a little bit around with the drawstring that's in the waistband. I even bind it around my body, and it looks so kind of trendy, Instagrammable. This whole kind of 80s silhouettes, I guess it's a little bit of an Instagram thing, a little bit of a Balmain did it, and Valmont did it. So it's probably cool kind of thing, and it looks so 80s. And I added these rings and eyelets in the collar, so I also think that's really the kind of details that makes it a bit more edgy and a bit more cool, but the silhouette is just not wearable. The sleeves are too long. I could make them shorter. I just feel like with shorter sleeves, it's not necessarily looking better, because this kind of ridiculous long sleeves make it kind of funny, and these ridiculous wide shoulders kind of make it fitting. And if you make it shorter, I feel like you take away a little bit of the identity of the thing. But yeah, didn't wear this much, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a cool blazer? I mean, cropping blazers is just such a cool way to upcycle because it's so easy. But then I had to add a lot of details as well, because I like to just give a lot of personality to my things, you know, and make it a real peer thing, basically. This one was one of my more popular videos. I will wear it didn't want to go on and wear everything. But now that I'm at it, it's so easy to wear these things and just throw it on over what I'm wearing now. So this is fabric slashing. This was a tank top. The green fabric is an existing tank top. Then I went over it with a lot of layers of fabric. So I took layers of fabric of men's shirts. I used fabric scraps that I lay in between. Then I stitched over it multiple. My battery is almost empty. I forgot to put my charger in there. Beginner's mistake. Luckily, I'm seeing it. So I stitched over all these layers of fabric. Make sure to use a thick needle in your machine if you want to do something like this, because I use a lot of layers. I like the result. I must say I did make it smaller after the video ended, because in a way it got really bulky and wide. So I had to kind of take a piece out of, I think I took a piece out of the middle and a piece out of the back, because somehow it got wider. I don't know how I did that, but it seemed to get wider from all these layers of fabric. And also the neck hole was really wide. It was basically sitting here. So I basically got space out of here and space out of the back, which was very annoying to do, because there's not really, you cannot really stitch all these layers on top of each other and then just cut it off. But definitely a great one. I definitely want to do this technique on a denim jacket, but only on the back. Basically make a back panel with this kind of slashing technique. So you can see up close all the fraying. That's really cool. Because this is washed, it's also not really shedding that much. I mean, if you pull at it, you can pull some threads out, of course, but it's not really shedding that you leave like a trace behind, or that you're like scared to wear it. It's just a little bit bulky. Oh yeah, and I ended up with a little hole here because of this getting things out of the middle situation. But I think if you put this kind of in the waistband of your pants, it slims it down a little bit more, and it's kind of wearable and cool. Next time, I would not sew in men's shirt fabric anymore, because it's basically not really fraying cool. So I think this is especially cool with fabrics that fray nicely, and that's mostly the denim. But like this cotton men's shirts, these dress shirts, it's just really not doing anything for it at all. So I think I would just use mainly denim, and then I had some red fabric scraps that frayed really well. And that's giving really a nice effect. But the men's shirts, I feel like, made it just more bulky, but not for a tank top. You wouldn't maybe want to have it that bulky. Maybe for a corset, someone reacted that she would try a corset with it. I never saw it, but I can imagine it's cool, and that it can also be a bit more bulky. For a tank top, I would maybe just use a few layers and see what happens. And then, I don't know, I'm gonna do another one. I think it's cool. People like this technique. Also, I wanted to say something about the inside, because you can see it's like another cheesehole top, basically. So there's a lot of holes in there, because I went with my scissors to cut all the layers open. Oh, I forgot to tell that step, I think. But you have to cut it open, and I didn't know there were special knives for that, so I just did it with my scissors. But because they're stitching here and here, everything is really tight. So you're basically punching little holes with your scissors in the base layer, and of course you want this layer to not be cut at all. And I thought I was only doing it in a few spots, and then after I washed it, I saw that there was a lot more holes than I even realized. So you can buy on Amazon special knives for that. Definitely recommend to buy one. I think they're like 14, 15 box, and they have some kind of protection that you do not cut in the bottom layer. So I guess you need one if you, especially if you want to use it for clothes. Then is there any, I don't know, feel like maybe it's getting a little long now. We passed the 1 hour mark. I just wanted to maybe show the flower shirt, maybe say why I'm not wearing it. I do like the colors because it's this really nice green and really nice blue, and this was hanging next to each other in the shop. And the flowers are kind of cool. Okay, I guess in my head it would be cooler than it ended up being, and I have a lot of eyelets in there, but I'm a little scared they're gonna fall out because I did not really, I think the fabric is too thin to put these eyelets in there. So they're a little bit wonky. I protected it on the back side. You can see I made a little badge around it so that it's more secured. But still, I'm scared that the flowers, for example, will fall off because I thought the eyelets would be really tight on the fabric. But with this press or these eyelets, it didn't get so tight. So I'm a little scared to lose the leaves. Also, I just like to wear my shirts in my pants lately. I feel like somehow I like that look since this year, mainly. And with the flowers, I feel like it's a bit weird to put them in my pants. I don't want to do that to the flowers. And also, a little warning: if you put eyelets in something, I would recommend to not put them around the elbow area because I'm sitting a lot like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then it's really uncomfortable to have this sharp eyelet in your elbow, basically. Yeah, hurting your skin. So I don't know. I think it's quite a fun project, but there's a little bit of flaws. If you would want to make something like this, I would recommend to at least first try to stitch the leaves to the fabric. I didn't do that. I just used the eyelet to attach the leaves, and then I realized, okay, maybe I should with the hand attach them, because otherwise they're gonna fall out. But I think if you do that with a machine, just stitch around where the hole is, maybe with a little zigzag, then you have the leaves kind of secure on the fabric. And I think I also still had to do a hand stitch because some of the leaves are falling down a little bit, but that's quickly done, and it doesn't distract that much. Still looks quite nice on the inside. But yeah, that's the thing with upcycling. I'm coming up with new ideas and trying to develop innovative and new ideas. But sometimes, you realize the ideas are not perfect, which is fine, because then the next time you can do it better or do it different. But for sure, in normal fashion companies, if they develop a garment, they usually make at least one sample, usually more samples, because the first time is not perfect, especially if it's a new pattern or a new technique, like I'm always doing. And they make different samples to perfect something. And because I do upcycling, you cannot really do that, especially not if you come up with constant new ideas. So that's why some things are sometimes a little imperfect, but is life not like that? So I think that's perfectly fine. Let me know in the chat, do we want to see one more outfit, or is everyone tired? I feel like we're passing the 1 hour and 10 minutes almost, so it might get a little bit too long. Maybe I just close it off with my crop jacket. and say thank you everyone for watching. This was my last Christmas look. I think it's really nice. Actually, I bought this for the heat gun experiment. I never thought I would do something. It was a long trench coat, but didn't expect to use it when I didn't use it for the heat gun. And then I did, and it looks kind of cool. I don't know. It's a little bit small for me, so that's a shame. But I like the drawstrings. This was the waistband, but I added it in the front and on the side. And this is just, this is the 2020 trend, I would say, crop trend. Really easy to wear, easy to style. I don't know, sleeves are a little short, but I wore this for Christmas and I liked to wear it. On the bottom of the cropped trench coat, I used this fabric to make inserts in this gray pants. So in the side seam, I made these inserts, and it's giving a really modern look, I must say, because this fabric is, more of the synthetic, a little bit shimmery kind of gray silver, and this is just a really ordinary gray wool pants actually, but the combination of those two fabrics is really kind of, designy and modern. And the white silhouette, this pants was already white, but now it's even wider because there's these inserts here in the side and these bows on the side. So it's just looking very luxurious and cool in a way. I mean, kind of cool. Someone commented on Facebook she was a little uncomfortable seeing me wearing these outfits or something. I think she found it too feminine in a way, which surprised me because I don't know, I've worn much worse, I guess. But yeah, I guess not for everyone. It's maybe it's a bit too much women's wear for a man, for her. I just like the look. Now that I'm wearing it with the shiny pants, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, looking a little more rocker in it or something. It gets a little bit more of a biker jacket feel, which it's not, obviously. But yeah, I guess I want to do definitely more of those little more easy projects in 2021 so that people could follow along a little bit more. And yeah, I guess I'll close it up now, guys. Thank you for watching my first live video. Thank you for interacting with me. I really like that. And no technical issues, so I'm glad. I'm glad everything went fine. And I'm glad there were some people to comment and some people to watch. So thanks a lot. I think I'm going to put some links in the description later of this video so that you can see which videos I'm talking about. Also, I wanted to say one last thing. I will put the link also in the description, but for 2021, I'm going to do a challenge with stitching and some other different sustainable stylists, sustainable designers. And the challenge is basically to not wear any new clothes for the whole year 2021, or not buy new clothes. So basically only buy secondhand or vintage, or just use what you already have, and get a little bit more conscious this year of sustainability, and maybe that you don't need to consume something new all the time. So this is a challenge. There's a website for it, and you can join the challenge if you want. I think it costs like €253 per month, and there will be some, I think, also some live streams and some chats. And I would recommend to check out the website. So I'll pop that in the description below, and it's called, I forgot what it's called now, but it's something like 1 year, no new clothes or something. So yeah, I will pop that down below if you're interested to join. And it's definitely going to be a little bit of a medium kind of course, I guess, or like a light kind of thing that you can join, and you can actually get some education on sustainability and how to maybe break your shopping addictions, break your shopping habits, and get a little more sustainable. So if that interests you, check it out. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't do that yet. And yeah, I think it was a bit of a long video. I just hope it was not boring. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, Fiend. Thank you also for watching. Bye bye. If there's any questions, I will stay for a few minutes, clean up a little bit, and let me know. So thanks a lot, guys. Okay, I guess that's it. Bye, guys. Thanks.